Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. Joining us on the line at this time, we have the Minister of Energy, Minister Franklin Khan. He's looking on this morning at what is taking place. We just had a conversation with UNIPET and the Petroleum Dealers Association. Minister Khan, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, morning, Hema. Morning. I'm pretty good, but, under the weather still, the flu, but I'm there. And morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
I do appreciate you joining us this morning, Minister. I do want to get straight into the conversation. Let's start with what was stated and what has occurred over the last 24 to 48 hours. UNIPET stations saying that they were forced to close or to shut down operations for 24 hours in a bid to control operating costs. As the Minister of Energy, what is your response to this action? Were you shocked by it? Was it a surprise to you?
Well, I obviously do not see the logic in that. This is nothing new. Both the PDA, the Petroleum Dealers Association, and UNIPET in particular have raised concerns with what they consider to be the small margin on liquid fuels. There's some veracity to their case. The Ministry of Energy is looking at it very closely. The Ministry of Energy advises the Ministry of Finance as to what action should or should not be taken. But this matter of to reduce their operating costs, I think, I don't want to comment too much on their business. The overtime issue is probably real, but they did in fact, if you check Carrier press release, they did in fact buy 10,000 barrels over the weekend. Mm-hmm. So I don't see the reason why they didn't distribute at the gas station. But having said that, there is a concern. The government is aware of it. The margins range between 4.5 to 5%. But on the face of it, that may look small, but there are other considerations to put into the equation. Because when you have small margins, your business depends on volume. So the large gas stations that turn over heavy volume in the urban centers and in the main thoroughfare, I don't think they have much of a challenge, especially since there's the whole concept now of quick shops, which you see a gas station now, the new model for gas station, in the United States in particular, and in Europe, you must stop. When you stop for fuel, when your tank is on close to you, you have to stop. Mm-hmm. When you stop, they encourage you to purchase other things. That's why that's a new model for gas station. So the profitability is not solely dependent on the sale of liquid fuels as in the past. Now, rural gas stations have a greater challenge because their volumes are less, and most of them are not equipped with quick shops. So it's something to consider, and as we speak, we are actively looking at it.
When you say that you're actively looking at it, now they've put up proposals talking about the margins, and this is not a new problem. UNIPET has been having this conversation for the last 2 years in the public domain. In fact, there was time when they would put banners up on the gas stations. Yeah. So when you say you're looking at it actively.
Well, the issue here is not every time some entity requests something of the government in terms of increasing their profit margin, reducing government take, increasing the price to the consumer. That is just a linear, straightforward decision. So I think the issue has come to the fore now. They are moving quite aggressive, and that's their right. The PDA is up in its tempo. The Ministry of Energy and the Ministry of Finance will not be intimidated. However, we will be fair, we will be even-handed, and we are reevaluating the situation.
Have you given
5 cents per litre increase on margins was given in 2017. They claim that at that point in time it was insufficient, but they still live with it for a while. So probably now is an opportune time to look at it seriously, and we would do that. We are a fair government, and we understand the issues.
Now, let me ask you this, Minister Khan. Fuel shortage. I know the consumers listening to this morning, the back and forth between UNIPET, the PDA, and the Ministry of Energy, their concern is about the reliability of the fuel supply. UNIPET operates 25 stations throughout the country. NP stations were not affected. Considering the locations and the geographic dispensation of where they are located, were consumers badly affected by yesterday's actions?
Obviously not, because UNIPET stations are largely in the prime locations. And NP was not affected, and NP has the same margins as Unipet. And NP's operating cost is significantly higher than Unipet. And NP is surviving without government subvention.
Well, I was going to ask whether or not they're surviving based on the government's generosity.
No, NP receives no government subventions. And NP still is on a capital program in building new service stations. And so there's both sides to the story. However, I said on the face of it, the margins seem to be small, but there are other issues to be considered. And we are looking at it with a very, very objective eye. I want Unipet and the Petroleum Dealers Association to rest assured we are doing scientific and mathematical modeling to determine what is the true state of affairs.
Do you have a time period to look at this? Would you tell them?
Well, I say probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
And looking at the actions yesterday, did you see it as an attempt to force the hand of the government?
Well, I mean, they didn't break the law. They have their business. They can shut it down for whatever reasons they want. So in that context, they haven't acted illegally. But I think in the grand scheme of things, I think we should be a little more discreet. And I did have conversations with a couple of key players at Unipet yesterday, and I think they have listened to me. And hopefully nothing like that would happen again in the near future until we come to terms with the real issue.
Minister, they've asked for a meeting with stakeholders to discuss, I guess, not just this, but also the CNG matter. Will there be a meeting?
Yes, there will be a meeting. I promise them I will meet with them. You just have to give them probably by next week, I'll formally communicate with them in that regard.
Now, I also, when we talk about fuel and the fuel supply with this matter, so hopefully there's going to be a peace offering and an olive branch on all sides. The CNG issue is one that has also been in the public domain. The dealers are saying that it's unprofitable for them to continue the distribution, that also is a margin and operating cost that they are not happy with and are not satisfied with, and the dealers...
I got a report on the CNG, and there are some issues there. We are looking on that as we speak. The players there are the Ministry of Energy, the NGC CNG, and the NGC themselves as we speak, and then there's the issue of the electricity charges for the filling of the CNG at the service station, which they claim to be quite high. I have spoken to Minister Lujan to give me a short report on that. And but CNG is the most economic fuel. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's equivalent to $1 per liter. And so to the consumer, it is our most profitable venture, especially people who work in maxi taxi and taxis. But again, it's the margins. And so in terms of margins, it falls into the same category as liquid fuels. So all that will be encompassed in the review that we are doing.
When we talk about the CNG issue, Minister, there have been a lot of conversations in the last couple of days, not just only from the dealers, but also we're seeing some of the automotive dealers, particularly the used car dealers, saying that they have described the initiative as a failure and saying that it's not been accepted under successive administrations. This PNM administration, it was used under the UNC administration, and even the Manning administration, of which you were part of, also commenced the CNG initiative.
The Used Car Dealers Association have their own vested interests.
Do you think that...
In my office at the waterfront there, I look down at the port, that is my view. And there are more vessels coming in, offloading used cars than containers. And that is the industry they want to protect, and they have protected it. Nobody is saying no again. Once you run a legitimate business, it's your right in this country. Sorry. So do. However, there are other considerations. And CNG, by any stretch of the imagination, is a profitable venture to the consumer.
I hear you looking at, I know, Minister, I do appreciate you staying. I know you're not well, you're a bit under the weather. Yeah. I look and I know that we have the officials from representing CNG, NGC in a short bit on the Morning Brew, but from a policy perspective from the government, do you think that consumers have changed behavior and have accepted this as an alternative? Have we created conscious consumers, if according to the stats, only about 7,000 or 8,000 persons have accepted this as an initiative?
Well, there are a couple issues here. I mean, the conversion has a capital cost. NGC-CNG has tried to assist in that regard, and even the state. The real challenge here is the distribution of the CNG network. It has very limited access throughout the country. So you can't expect somebody in Mayaro, in Toku, or down Cedros, or in Talparo to want a CNG vehicle when his access to a filling station is very far. So in that context, the rollout of the service, I think, has been slow. But in terms of people who are on the east-west corridor and in the urban areas where there's quick access to CNG filling stations, it is a very, very economic venture.
Minister, I know before we wrap this interview, I want to return to the issue of the UNIPET, what people have described as a PDA versus government, UNIPET versus government. Is there going to be peace now? And is there going to be progress?
Yes, there has always been peace, and there will always be peace. The state has to regulate the industry for obvious reasons. We have lived with a regulated environment for the longest while, and in a regulated environment, the state has to be fair. These people, when I say these people, I mean UNIPET, PDA, everybody, offer legitimate service to the country. They run legitimate businesses, and it is their right to seek profitability. We will meet as mature individuals and sort this matter out.
Do you think that, listening to the head of UNIPET, he spoke about the fact that our model is so different to other CARICOM jurisdictions that sort of run a dual system, and international jurisdictions don't have the regulations that we have. Is it time to...
You see, for all these years of petroleum subsidy, nobody quarreled, okay? And now they want to get like Jamaica. Okay, but if we had instituted a Jamaica model a decade ago, all hell would have broken loose in Trinidad. Because remember, in these countries, there are no subsidy on gasoline. Okay, so you can't have your cake and eat it. And we have tried to progressively and gingerly remove the subsidy, as been the same as done over the last couple of years. And it is still a quasi-regulated environment. And in that scenario, we have to seek the interests of all the stakeholders. And as a government, the main stakeholder is the consumer. Having said that, we also understand the needs of the business people. And the business people have a right to earn a reasonable profit on their investment.
What do you think would be a middle ground, a suitable middle ground for everyone, if you had to make a proposal?
Well, I don't want to quote a figure on the margins or what, but it has to be analyzed properly. You cannot pick a figure from a hat, and if one stakeholder with a vested interest give you a figure, obviously you have to do independent analysis.
Minister, I know that we will speak with you, but you said within the next 2 to 3 weeks of this matter.
Well, 2 to 3 weeks is a tentative announcement, but it is being addressed.
Minister, thanks so much for taking a call this morning to give us your side as you look on as what's taking place. He said there will always be peace and they will meet as mature adults. He said that they are at this time looking, and he has taken note of the concerns, not just in relation to the fuel, but also the CNG issue. We take a short break. When we come back, we dive straight into the CNG issue. Are the dealers being realistic? Consumers, this is benefiting you. How do you feel about this? Stay with us. This is the Morning Brew.